Stupidity is not a competition, unless you're a politician. The Daily Mojo.
His name is Peter Serefine. He's written a brand new book. And the name of the book is A More Tyrannical King. How you doing, Peter?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm just fabulous. And I want to apologize on behalf of Real Ron Phillips. I did not see your request to write that. No, it's not all right.
Yeah,
I mean,
don't let him make it my
fault,
fault, Peter. It wasn't my fault.
I will say, though, everybody knows the rule. If you're going to email me, text me and let me know that you emailed me. And that's why I responded to the one email, because
look, your stupid ass rule doesn't make it our fault.
Okay. If that's how you want to justify and feel better at night when you lay your head down on the pillow, Ron,
I feel
fine.
better just because you don't read your shit. Okay.
All right. Just saying. So anyway, Peter.
Well,
he says it's not his fault.
It's not too late. You can still contribute. I haven't ordered any copies yet, so my goal is to have printed copies in hand right around September 1st. So time's running short.
We'll talk.
But it's late.
We will talk. All right. So tell us about the new book, A More Tyrannical King.
Well, I basically look at different parts of government today and compare them to King George III at the time of the American Revolution and say, hey, this is the status of this particular issue at this time, and this is the status now. And which do you think is more tyrannical? And of course, the answer is it's always now.
Yeah, right. Exactly. The funny thing about this is that this 4th of July, I decided to, for the first time, read the Declaration of Independence out loud. I didn't go through all of the list of grievances out loud, but I read on the air, as a matter of fact. And then I got into the looking at the historical arguments that, in fact, a lot of what the founding fathers were accusing the king of was propaganda. I don't know if I'm not smart enough and I'm not educated enough in that sense to know if they were propagandists in that sense, but was a lot of what they said strictly just to get the public on their side?
Sort of, kind of. What they said was all true, but some of it really wasn't a big enough issue to want to separate from the greatest power on earth. It was more, they're way over there and we're way over here, and you won't let us put people in parliament, so we're going to make your life hell. And so there's just 27 grievances there, and there's a few of them that are like, really? Yeah, that's not really all that big a deal.
But that's a lawyer thing.
Yeah, it is. But
that's
when you
a
add
lawyer thing, and
yeah, it's a big list.
And they still do that today. And it actually, Ron and I were talking about the stuff that they accused Trump of, that indictment in New York. And I can't remember all of the list of each individual charge, but they break it down into 800. It's all basically the same thing, but they list a bunch of stuff to make it look like, oh, whoa, look at that long list of everything. It's the same thing, repeated over and over in a slightly different way. But it's still a lawyer trick.
It is a lawyer trick. But if you get, I don't know, let's say you trip over $1 million of illegal gains. And then every time you spend $1 out of that $1 million of illegal gains, that's tax fraud, that's money laundering, that's multiple charges every time you do it. So that's how they make up these big long lists.
Yeah, I have a friend I've known since sixth grade, who was handed the longest sentence in history for bankruptcy fraud. He's still in jail, 17 years, 8 months. And he's the one who told me about the money laundering. They take each time you spend $1, one more count of money laundering.
Right.
Which, if you're going after a true bad guy, I get it, but it's abused.
Agreed. But I'm here live today because I'm not going to have a Liberty Minute for a while. I've got to put the Liberty Minute on hiatus, the minute
lazy,
good
for nothing, piece of crap.
The minute I got this book ready to go, I jumped headfirst into another project that's really big, and it's sucking up every spare minute of my time. And I'd like to talk about that too.
Please do.
I'm launching a series of courses on the Constitution. I'm creating an online learning platform that will allow you to go in and take one lesson at a time at your own pace. It's eventually going to be 5 different courses. Right now, I only have one ready, and it's called The Truth of America's Founding, Your Heritage and Mine. This is a 4-lesson course that goes through and basically proves, using original source documents, that America was founded as a Christian nation, that we are supposed to have biblical principles in our government, and anything that violates God's laws, according to our founding fathers, anything that violates nature's law or God's law is an unconstitutional pretended legislation, and we can ignore it. It's void. It's no good. That's this first course, 4 lessons long. The next one I'm going to work on is like a 12-lesson course diving deep into the Constitution. These courses are all being made in conjunction with the Institute on the Constitution.
I think this is so incredibly fabulous, and I applaud you for being a real patriot, and we need more people like you who will do the heavy lifting and get people educated. I'm extremely proud and a little bit envious that you have more energy than I do. Because it truly is something that's needed.
Like many things in the world, education is the key. We stopped teaching the importance of this stuff in public education, 50 years ago. Now we've raised 2 generations that don't understand the importance of liberty. And
right.
I mean,
but they know their pronouns.
Or do they? Yeah. This first course, we actually blow up the theory that Christopher Columbus was a murderous POS that just came over here to conquer. We don't do that just because that's what we say. We look at Christopher Columbus' personal journal that he published and what he said about what he did and when he did it. Which are you going to believe? Some revisionist historian from 2020, or are you going to believe Christopher Columbus's own words that he wrote? Makes more sense.
He was obviously just a lying white dude. Well, kind of brown-ish.
Kind of white-ish.
Kind of whitish. I mean, you could, if you squinted, there was some white there. And you're right. We haven't taught for so long in our schools. We haven't taught the stuff that makes this country what it was supposed to be, instead of a giant third world crap hole, which they have succeeded quite well in doing. Again, credit where credit is due, and it's going to be a very long fight to get it back on track. How long do you, well, let me ask you this. Obviously, you believe that we will or could win. How long do you think it's going to take?
I figure it at least 2 or 3 generations. I mean, it took 100 years from the first progressives getting control of government back with Woodrow Wilson. It took 100 years to get this bad. It might not take 100 years to get it back, but it's going to take several generations.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. And that's my buddy Bongino says the same thing. He's for America in the long run, but I think in the short run, probably for the rest of our lives, it's going to be quite a fight. Right. But it's worth it.
I agree. It's funny, 10 years ago, I used to think, oh, well, that's never going to happen in my lifetime. Now I'm like, oh, that could happen tomorrow.
I know. It's been the past 2.5, 3 years that, during the 2020 election, I said, if Trump is not elected, really, and that's a different story, but you're going to see this stuff go into warp drive with Biden, which is exactly what happened.
Yep, that is exactly what happened. Now, I've got a special offer for the Mojo 50 Jackhold Nation out there listening. This first course, I have listed for $10. And using the promo code or the coupon code Mojo50, I'll make it $5. And there's also a subscription option that is $10 a month, where you get access to all of my books and all of the courses as they're being made for no additional charge. Same thing. Code Mojo50 will make it $5 a month. You can subscribe and you'll see them as soon as they pop up. The book and the courses, everything at my website, liberty-lighthouse.com. Just click on classroom or books, either one. You click on classroom, you'll see 3 options on the screen: ebooks, courses, and subscriptions. So you pick which way you want to go. Tomorrow, the Liberty Lighthouse that's going to air on Mojo 50 tomorrow night at 7 Eastern is a preview of the first lesson of this first course, where you can listen to Pastor David Whitney, who does a majority of the lecture in the course, and you can see how it's going to go and determine whether or not it's something you want to do. The subscription base, I mean, if you add up the cost of the 3 ebooks, the 5 courses I'm planning to build, it's probably $100. So $5 a month, $100 worth of stuff seems like a pretty good deal if you use code Mojo50.
I think it is well worth in the effort to save America from what it is becoming. Liberty-lighthouse.com. Just click on Classroom. The information is there. And again, we commend you for being a far better man than Ron, and moderately better than me. So good for you. Good for you.
And big thanks to Ron. Big thanks to Ron for designing my cover of More Tyrannical.
Thanks, Peter.
Yeah. Don't say that.
See you, buddy.
Go.
Watch and listen at thedailymojo.com.